So hello world, my name is Amelia and welcome back to another video. Um, I just wanted to upload a video super quickly, which I can't believe how many times I say that and that never ends up being the case. I feel horrible by saying that actually. How many times do I actually say that? I feel like it's just getting so old and I can't necessarily keep myself from doing it. Oh look, lip gloss. I really want to put on my lip gloss now. Even though I started a video already. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, if I didn't screw that up, I, over these last couple days, have just been thinking about how some things have been going for me, how the world's been going, and I just want to kind of put this out there. I know I've been saying lately in some of my videos that things have been going very difficult for me. I I started college again 2 weeks ago. It's been going along just fine. I I really like my math instructor. I was a little worried about taking math because growing up I always had such trouble with math. Um, Anyways, the main point being is I just want to talk a little bit about this past year. Um, it really is amazing how much, coming out of last year, how hopeful, how hopeful I was that, when things were finally getting better post the big P. Is that a new, can I use that as my new YouTube safe word? Um, Everything that has happened over this past year. And I thought things were getting better, and then out of the blue, things just started taking a turn for the worst again. I mean, I know some people have been watching these videos for the past year and a half and know what I've been going through and know, have a little bit of an idea. I did start just the other day uploading, recording some videos talking about my divorce. And it's just one of those things where still it has so much emotion attached to it. It's hard for me to do it in a respectable way. Professionalism is something that I struggle with in my daily life and just things from here and there. Um, just because of my mental health, my learning disabilities, and I think just the easy way to say it is just my neurodivergence. It makes it very difficult for me to recognize read the room and recognize inappropriate situations. And it's just why growing up I had so many people get mad at me and just not know why. It was bad enough last year with what was going on, and then we got into this year and things were getting a little better, and then it got bad again. And that's when I got to that point when I ended up having to go on leave from my job again. And while I was on leave, I was going to training for my CNA class, so which I graduated July 21st. And eventually I just pretty much got to the point, I mean, with like the way I was feeling and just everything going on in my life with school and education and the fact I was anticipating getting a job, as there's a bug flying in my face, I just didn't take I just didn't make a big deal about getting back to my job where I was working. The main objective I had was just simply getting through that education, and I had come out of my divorce. My divorce had just been finalized the month, right around that time. It's one of those things where I was really hopeful of things getting better. And I was recently watching a video of another YouTuber, and she was just talking about how bad the world feels right now. And quite honestly, it is disheartening. Especially considering that I thought things were getting better, like a lot of people, and then all of a sudden, all this lockdown stuff started falling hard on us again. It really felt like things were getting better. And, now I'm dealing with the fact, like, I was so excited to be starting this new job. I don't think I mentioned that my new job decided to postpone my start date by another 2 weeks because of a stupid misunderstanding. And I mean, fortunately, I got that. I should have that figured out now. But then I found out earlier this week that my new job has which is in healthcare, which I understand, just announced that they were making the COVID vaccine mandatory. Now, I do want to make it clear, I'm not necessarily an anti-vaxxer. I understand the importance of vaccines. I understand the benefits they give. I can definitely see some merit to the COVID vaccine. However, I have for many, many years been very anti-pharmaceutical. I have a problem with the pharmaceutical companies. I mean, there's been numerous times, and if I wasn't lazy, I would even put like little references on the screen to kind of spruce up this video. But there's been numerous cases that have come out with the opioid being a pandemic in its own. Opioid crisis, would that be the better word? Drug abuses that are being fueled by pharmaceutical companies. I don't know what was, I think I just heard recently that the Sackler family is, apparently a court decided that they can't be held liable for opioid overdose, even though they're one of the biggest families behind this whole crisis. And I mean, that's just opioids. You then think about, life-saving drugs. There's pharmaceutical companies out there making billions and billions of dollars off of vaccines and medications. I mean, look at, the fact that, people who have to take insulin are, went from $50 to $800 and just all these really crazy different things. And to me, it's not even a political issue. It's not even a question of which party do you subscribe to. Because, I mean, honestly, me personally, I don't subscribe to any party. I don't believe myself to be a member of Republican or Democrat. I'm more like an independent. I'm kind of more independent left-leaning, which I hate to say because I grew up in a very Republican conservative family. I think somebody I would very heavily endorse for listening to some of their things when it comes to economics is Chris Rice, an amazing person. He was in Bill Clinton's administration, and he has for a long time talked about problems. Like, he's not like, I'm kind of capitalist. I'm for capitalism, but not the corruption that comes with it, Anyways, go read his stuff. Like, he has a lot of good stuff where he's not anti-capitalist either, but he talks about the corruptions, the easy failures of it. Anyways, not to get even more political about this on this video, will be, so my problem with the COVID vaccine is it was something that was rushed to market, and it's particularly the Pfizer one. And people talk about, ooh, isn't it awesome that Pfizer got FDA approved? And personally, no. I'm sorry, it doesn't impress me. As a matter of fact, it almost makes me more concerned because the former FDA commissioner, is now on the Pfizer board. There's plenty of examples of other people who have had cross-betweens between the FDA and the Pfizer board. And in my opinion, that's a definite conflict of interest. There is way too many people in a lot of these pharmaceutical companies, particularly Pfizer, that have this corruption. I mean, look at people should know how bad like certain box foods are and certain ingredients are in the food that we have here in America. And when you look at all of this, it's stuff that's been approved by Pfizer because companies did millions and millions of dollars of lobbying to get it approved. Yet a lot of this stuff is not legal in Europe. You know, you go to the European Union and there's food colorings that we use that they don't use. Point being is we have a very corrupt FDA, and somebody sitting there saying to me, oh, just because Pfizer got FDA approved, oh, somehow that makes it better? No. Matter of fact, that worries me more. Because honestly, if you're going to approve Pfizer, shouldn't that at least mean the other? I mean, now, I'm not a doctor. I am a pre-med student, but I am not a doctor. But from what I understand about how the vaccines work, in particular, the Pfizer vaccine is not as, I mean, there's even a doctor I follow online, and he talks about how the Pfizer vaccine is it's not a traditional vaccine. It actually uses a different process, and that was one of the ways that they rushed it to market. He's talking about how the other vaccines, was it Merit? I cannot remember the name. They start with an M. And the Johnson & Johnson vaccine are safer because they're more traditional vaccines. So, not to get all political about this, and please do not start a bunch of firefights down in the handlebar of this video, down in the comment section. I don't mean to make this video to start that debate. I mean, I'm definitely a person who believes you believe what you want to believe. I have a right to my own beliefs. I'm only sharing my opinion, and also I'm not going to disagree with somebody who's got an opposing view. Matter of fact, that's very American to have opposing views. And that's also kind of one of the things that's kind of concerning about this last 2 years. We're living in a country where it seems like those who have opposing views are hated, are being turned into the enemy. And I'm definitely seeing it for myself as there's this very strong shift of this status quo going on in our country. A lot of people are trying to make this status quo of, well, you think what this is because it is true. Science doesn't want to look at alternatives. Science doesn't want to listen to anybody who has anything to say. There's been plenty of medical doctors that have even doctors who have just simply, even other doctors who are not anti-vaccine themselves, just presenting concerns, losing their medical license. And again, this isn't a debate. Please do not start a debate over this. And I mean, if you do feel the need to share your opinion, please just leave it at that. Nobody try to no civil debates only. I feel horrible making this video and going the direction I took this, not to mention YouTube would probably hate to have this video. But I'm just expressing my opinion, how bad it feels lately. This has been a really hard 2 years for me. You know, when my ex left, I did not realize. It's one of those things where I mean, I have been very stretched these past 3 years. It's coming up on 3 years since I've had to take care of myself. I have grown so much in these 3 years. I have changed as an individual. I am not the same person I was. And oh my gosh, I even remember making a video. What was that, like Christmas, nearly? Yeah, that would have been like New Year, I think, of last year. So, like a year and 8 months ago. I made a video talking about how my opinions changed and how I was a different person. And it'd be kind of even interesting for me to go back and watch that video. But I've changed even further. I mean, I can't express enough how I've been making. I have like 3 books I've been writing for a while now, and I just can't finish them because me as a person keeps changing. My opinions keep changing. My life keeps changing. I keep going through so much in my life. I can't just settle down on one thing. Like my one particular book, titled Barely a Princess, which I would love to get it to print one day. An amazing story. I can't believe the fact how many times I've told other people, this is a good book, and they agree with me. I give it excerpts and they love it. The point is, I've like rewritten the ending in that book like 3 times. Because as I say to my therapist, it's because my story is still unfolding. My character in that book, she's very heavily based on my childhood self. And honestly, I keep discovering new things about myself, even my childhood self. It's kind of funny. I just recently sat down and I was meeting. Yeah, I was meeting with my therapist, and something I've been trying to work with my therapist with is my childhood. It's been a discussion that we've been trying to have for a while. Working on some of, I've never even realized how much childhood trauma I had until it starts unfolding and unpacking. Something that recently came out during one of our sessions was how I had developed a personality part, and it came out of me creating this 2 camps. I made a camp of the old me, and I made this camp of who I am today. And honestly, in acceptance, my family not accepting me for who I was had a lot of fueling to making me continually pushing my old self out because I wanted nothing to do with him. Something that really came up recently in one of our discussions was, I told my therapist how when I came out to my mom, something my mom said to me is, because I told her, I said, I felt gender dysphoria at the age of 5, about 4 or 5. And then she looks at me and then she tries to say to me, she's like, well, what happened when you were that age? And she tries to tell me that was how old I was when my sister was born. And then she tries to make this connection that, oh, well, because that's when your sister was born, I'm theorizing that must be why you wanted to be a girl, is because you were jealous of your sister. And I really honestly, right off the bat, I refuted it, and I tried to be like, no, oh no, that couldn't be it, Mom, no. I think in some ways I said that because I didn't want that to be true. I was afraid of what would be said if that was true. In some ways, though, recently through therapy, I think I've come to realize that, in a sense, that is true. I was jealous of my sister. However, not in the traditional ways. Not it's definitely absolutely 100% not a clear-cut thing of, oh, I was jealous of my sister, so I came up with this idea that I would be more liked if I was a girl. Mm-mm. Far from it. Very, very far from it. I think better put is that I I feel like my mom very much was nurturing me before my sister was born. My dad wasn't very much involved in my younger years, my toddler years. Because like almost all my memories prior to the age of 5 involve my mom. I have almost no memories of my dad prior to the age of 5. And they're all memories of being cared for and nurtured by my mom. I think what happened is my mom always wanted a girl, and I could be just completely shooting in the dark. It's very possible. I think she always wanted her first child to be a girl. And it just was something that she didn't, she loved me and she took care of me nonetheless. But what I feel like must have happened is then when my sister was born, she did then shift all of her nurturing love to my sister because that's what she wanted. She wanted a girl. And I'm not trying to say that the way that she nurtured me put me in any kind of state, but I am definitely feeling like there's the possibility that I really do know that this is really me. It was not, I was born as this, with this messed up gender dysphoria problem. But I just ended up also in a position, because like once my mom started putting all her love on my sister, all I could feel was jealousy for not receiving that same kind of love. A feminine kind of love. I didn't want to be treated like a boy by my mom. I wanted to be treated like how she treated my sister. And even to this day, I'm still jealous of the way my mom talks and nurtures my sisters. I even now feel upset that I've even transitioned and I'm happier with myself. I feel so much more congruent with who I am today. And I am so happy that I have reached out and I am going to college now and I've tried. I mean, it's kind of getting back on track of this current situation. And I'm also been like jumping between two different topics here, which it doesn't help my ADHD here much. I'm proud of what I've done in 3 years. I'm proud of the fact that I did have the bravery. I mean, I have other trans women who have come to me and say how much they admire me for having the guts to do what I did. I don't know how I had the power to do any of that either. How did I have the ability to do that for myself? I question myself how sometimes I had the strength. And it's even hard though. I mean, I can't imagine how bad this is for some other people out there. But I just feel, I feel like so much is happening for me. And I mean, I'm excited. I've been talking with doctors. I'm building a network. I am freaking preparing to go to med school. And it's working out so far. It's just, right now, I think my only big uncertainty is a financial one. I'm really hoping to get fortunate and maybe get like a huge grant. Somebody recognizes the fact that I want to get into such a researched an under-involved area of medicine, because I want to get into transgender medicine, that somebody might want to give me a huge grant to do this. I'm hoping that's a possibility. I mean, really, honestly, I tell myself anything is possible. There is a lot of possibility. I mean, things have come out of the blue, and I've even learned over this past 2 years to be prepared for sudden, surprising things to happen. I mean, this new job I'm getting hired for was sudden. Something I really need to learn is taking joy in the good and the bad. Because while it was very upsetting to learn that my new job was postponing my start date by 2 weeks, and it was all over a stupid understanding, is upsetting, of course. However, I do understand that it's kind of for the best. I mean, as long as I actually apply myself. Because I need to get prepared for RamenCon later this month. I'm really excited about doing that. And that's, with schoolwork, that's an adventure. Anyways, I'm not going to waste any more time. Again, like I said, here I was going to say, I just need to say this quick. And I got off track. I'm always such scatterbrain. I really wish I could apply myself to pre-writing my thoughts out. But it's like, I don't get a whole lot of time to do these things. I just kind of jump in and record them because I'm kind of like in the moment. I'm just like, hey, I got a few minutes to do this. I just need to get this on video. And maybe one of these days I can do better. I hope I can. I mean, I feel like my office is such a disaster. Even these last couple days have been really hard for me. I feel like I'm constantly being tested and constantly being stretched. My hair is so stringy right now. I hate it when my hair gets, it's like kind of greasy. But then I wash it and then it gets really frizzy. Ugh. My hair is not kind to me. I was without insurance for a couple months. I've been unemployed. My bank account is overdrawn right now. Fortunately, I'm getting my student aid refund here, which will be able to get me caught up. And I should be able to phase into this new job, but I'm so upset that, I had to waste a decent student aid refund. I'm still waiting on the state of Missouri to release money for homeowners who are behind on their mortgage. Hi, Missouri, I raise my hand. Pay attention. I am very much behind and need that money that came out of the CARES Act so I can get caught up on my life and get back to normal. I just realized there's a lot that I'm not going to learn until... I don't know. This is an off video for me, honestly. I felt so empowered, like this was going to be a good video, and here I am doing another 30-minute video. There was a lot to say. Anyways, just to finish this out, no, I don't believe anything out of my childhood was my parents' fault. I don't believe my sisters made me experience gender dysphoria. Not in the least, because if that was true, then I wouldn't have felt gender dysphoria in the way that I did. That doesn't happen. I know based on lots and lots of research about transgender kids, my experiences were very typical. Just because I was jealous of my sister does not mean that she was the reason I became gender dysphoric. Instead, it means I had gender dysphoria and I was amplified through the fact that my sister was born and I didn't get raised and nurtured the way that I wanted to be. Instead, I got treated like a boy, and on top of that, I had combined ADHD and I got overlooked. Nobody paid attention to the fact that I was spacing out or getting hyper focused on things. I wasn't a hyper child. And matter of fact, I've been reading a book recently called ADHD in Women. Also, How to ADHD here on YouTube. She did amazing videos talking about ADHD in women. And it's funny how much I can relate with those. Yeah, maybe I wasn't a girl with ADHD, but I was still a child with ADHD that got overlooked and treated like being quiet was a good thing. I got treated much the same. I got made fun of by other children for not being normal. I got picked on by boys because parents let them pick on me. You know, oh, they couldn't pick on girls because girls were girls, but they could pick on me because I was feminine in personality and quiet, and I didn't fight. I wasn't verbal. I didn't outwardly express my frustration. It was always inward. Very much exactly how girls experience ADHD. So, that is a topic for another video. And I cannot believe how scatterbrained my channel has become. It's like I should just call this, hey, welcome to what it's like to have ADHD. And it's probably another video that's just going to get uploaded and it's just going to be there for the world to see in years to come when people want to see what kind of life I had. Okay. I am going to leave this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, it's funny, I was watching videos of people that were ending videos with like and subscribe, and they were making fun of them, like, oh, it's so stereotypical. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I end my videos that way too. And now I'm like, horrible. I'm not like good at YouTube, but I am just a person. Alright. You guys all matter. To the one person out there watching, you're amazing. Thank you for getting through my 30-minute rant. I will see you in the future. And yes, I know, I promised I was going to do my 4 Ipsy bags. I have the 2 other over here. I did the first 2 videos, and then I just felt horrible all this week. I would not be surprised if, actually, to be perfectly honest, and I hate to say it, if I had gotten COVID again. So, alright, see you all in my future video. Bye now.